50 minutes of
All right.
video that they can do, so we're good. How do I see this? Okay. This will be on blooper reel. Don't worry.
There you go. Sweet. Okay.
I think they want it. I don't want to mess it up.
Okay. There we go. Take two. There we go. All right, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about our web application called Faze. Faze is the future of security. It's a web application that allows an authorized user to compare face data from a live webcam stream with face data in the database. The security personnel that built the application consists of Aaron Lawler, Joe Nightyvert, Michael Dennison, Hunter Nix, and Mike Garcia. Faze uses a bunch of different components and technologies. Mainly it's AWS facial recognition technology. We've also used React. We've used TP-Link Lightbulb. We've also used React Spring, JavaScript, Passport, lots of other things that we'll talk about in just a second. The flow of Faze basically works like this. So you log into the app, users would enter their credentials. They then can either choose to log in here through Faze Match, and the user then snaps a photo with the webcam, live webcam. The photo is then compared with the database to grant or deny access. If the photo isn't in the database, a new or existing user can add their photo to the database. And then we have a bio page where you can meet our security team that built the app. If the user is not already a user in the database, they can then register their credentials and then follow this same flow afterwards. Here's our wireframe, the first phase that we went through. So here it's very, very basic in terms of what we wanted. We wanted a welcome screen first, give the user some options whether to get the recognition or to add photos, come into these different screens. We talked about the layout, which went through a lot of different development. We have here where the webcam, you'll see it in just a second, is a live webcam stream, asks for permission to use your webcam. Then you snap that photo, and then it compares the face data of the user of that snap photo with something that's in the database, and will tell you whether or not it's verified or that it's not verified. Here on the Add Photo page, photo click, you can then add the photo to the database. And here's some other screens we use just for design purposes so that we can come up with the whole flow of the app. For future development, we wanted more IoT options, such as smart lock, Nest thermostat, Ring doorbell, etc. Maybe even giving Alexa some coordination with that. And so that's for future development. We also wanted to see if there was a way to view photos already stored in the database. And lastly, we wanted to see if that instant recognition through live video stream.
So instead of it being a snapshot, it would say this face is currently, the face currently in the view is currently approved or not. It wouldn't be a snapshot. That's the future.
And now we will demo our app.
It's on the other side. Oh, hold on. I don't want to break
Move the computer.
I can't really, because we do that. We're running the LAN. Oh, scoot the table. Thank you, man. We're good. Appreciate you. Okay. And while I'm getting this going, do you want to talk about React Springboard?
Sure. Can you refresh the browser?
I can.
So this little animation here at the bottom, this comes from React Spring. It's a animation library specific to React. Yeah, so it's really easy to use. You install it through an NPM, and that's what we use to do the little animation. As far as the look of our website, we use Bootswatch, which is a free theme, but it's all based on Bootstrap. So there was really no learning curve. You use the same elements that you do for Bootstrap.
Okay. All right. And the logo is also designed by?
My uncle actually did that. He's a graphic designer, and I was like, hey, just throw something together for us, so he did this.
And we like it. All right. So we click on the click, and it brings up the page where it talks about our product, and it talks about the different things that it can do with our login button here and our login button up here. So this is intended to be like a security gate. Like if you think of this as a replacement for like instead of a key card being recognized, but instead it's your face. So you have a security guard who logs in. So our security guard, his credentials right here. And now the security guard has logged in and he's ready for people to come by and approve if they are allowed to go from one point to the next, from one phase to the next, so to speak. So we can do an ad recognition. We'll come back to this in a minute. But we do a get recognition, and it pulls up our live webcam feed. It does then need to do a snapshot. Is it showing? Oh, that's because my, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's having trouble with the image behind. We're good though. So I am an approved user in the database. So when I take a picture right here, it does AWS recognition, then measures the face data and compares that to measured face data. It is not comparing two pictures, it's comparing two sets of measured data. So if I take this picture, person identified, please proceed. And the bulb turned green, and then it goes back to its idle state of blue, ready to take its next user. For the next part of our demo, we need to have somebody who is not approved on our list. Mike, could you come here, please? Yeah. And Mike is not on the approved user list, so we're going to tap Take Photo.
Oh.
So, and we made it definite that you're not a match, but we made it non-threatening at the same time. You should have turned blue, but we're good. All right, so it'll work out. Now, that is how our app works. Now, let's add a user to our database who is not currently an approved user. Can we have anybody? Any face? Here, come on up.
You're
Well,
close.
Mike would work, but we want to keep him unidentified for demo night.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, we come on up here, and here you go. Center your face right here. Smile. And it says Faze added to approved list. Now we go back to Faze match. It loads again. And now, please ignore that. Good. Take a photo.
That's cute.
That's really cool. And the other aspects of our page, we have the bio. And at this point, let's talk through the different elements. So we'll talk front end first.
Yeah, so for the front end, we knew that we wanted to have something that was very clean and very sleek looking, so we went with just this black and white theme. And again, using Bootswatch was really, really cool because we were already familiar with Bootstrap. And so Bootswatch, all it is just a theme composed of all the Bootstrap elements. So the same classes, the same buttons, the same things that you're already used to using in Bootstrap are already applied in Bootswatch. So I highly recommend that for you guys to check out because there's many different color themes, many different templates that you guys can use. And so we wanted to use that. We were able to incorporate the logo, if you notice at the top left of the screen, the Faze logo, and as well as React Spring doing that. So.
So React, as you all know, it can be challenging. So we had a lot of beautifully written code from Joe to get the facial recognition to work, and then we had to insert it into React, and of course it didn't work right away. But that's because you have to kind of reactify the JavaScript. So we actually had to go through line by line, and anywhere there was like a function written out, we had to change it to a fat arrow. Anywhere there was a variable written out, we had to reference it as a state instead of just an individual variable. But as you can see, we got it to work, so yay.
Okay. And Michael, you want to talk about?
Yeah. So the login portion uses Passport with bcrypt. So the Passport information, we have a registration page that would be used for management to add people to the database. It stores first name, last name, email, and password. The password uses a cipher hash so that when the password is sent to the database, it's never exposed. It uses a bunch of different characters and stuff, so you don't ever see the actual password itself. Yeah, the other part I worked on a little bit was with Hunter on the TP-Link API.
Yeah, and so the TP link is actually, we're running all of this locally right now because we just wanted to show that you could set something up to this application, like as a switch or a function, and just run off of it. So we wanted some kind of external hardware setting, basically, and so we thought, hey, the smart light bulb. So we found these smart light bulbs. You can basically, they've got an NPM for them, and you just basically find the IP of the light bulb, get everything on the same network, which is why we were having our router problems earlier. And you get everything on the same network, and then you can basically hard code this to every time it sees the good face, you go, hey, change to this color. Every time it's not, you change to the other. So yeah, it was a cool little thing to do. And although it won't be usable after today because not everyone will have the local network and stuff or the light bulb, but we were just showing you can add this functionality to the product.
Right. So what we essentially made, if you want to break it down to a real simple method, and it had a lot of different applications, is we built a switch where, if approved, do something. And our something is this cool thing that Hunter made happen. And, but we could attach it to, in theory, you could attach it to an actual motor to raise or lower a gate. You could attach it to a smart thermostat so that it would say, oh, Joe's home. Joe likes this temperature. You could attach it to a Ring doorbell. So it could do something like, if let's say Paul comes home, it would recognize Paul's face. I would get an alert on my phone that said Paul is home. I see this as having some really cool applications as well for like family management and knowing who to open the door for and not. Also, possibly connected to a smart deadlock or deadbolt lock. So these are just some future development things, but it all is a switch that controls an external device of some sort. So, is there anything else we want to discuss?
Just questions.
All right, any questions? Okay.
All right.
Thank you all so much.